Hey everybody, it's Mike Downer again, your chief storytelling strategist with Jar Consulting. And I'm here with Kevin, the president and CEO of Jar Consulting Group. How are we doing today, Kevin?
Doing great, Mike. Welcome back. Good to be back
Hey,
in front of
it's
the camera, my man.
been a long time. So last time we talked about how to close the gap and win brand citations in 2026. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. So today, Kevin, let's expand on what we were talking about last time. And could you tell me what the difference between what we were talking about with keywords and what the prompt gap actually is and how to map it?
Yeah. So last episode, we kind of dug into the death of the two-word keyword search, right? So,
Yep.
you got to understand that how, we talked about people are evolving and they'll have conversations with their AI. And, that's such a different strategy and mindset from today's world that only thing we've ever known is search a few keywords and sift through information.
Want to hear
So
me?
yeah, that's what we do, right? So when we talk about that, you have to talk about what this prompt gap is. So you search keywords using traditional SEO search. With AI, we prompt AI. Okay. And this is part of that transition away from where we were to how things work, and that is prompts. So, when you talk about a prompt gap, it's a fundamental difference between a search query, like literally matching, and an AI prompt, which is all about contextual reasoning. So, for instance, Google behavior, users will typically type 2, 3, 4 words, and they expect to get a treasure trove of documents that they can scan themselves.
Right.
So that's just normal. That's what we're used to. Where when you think about what's happening with AI behavior, and as we're learning, and we are slowly changing, some people much quicker, but take Claude or ChatGPT for instance. Users write prompts that average 23 plus words. Okay. So this includes constraints and personal context and nuance and specific goals. So this is when we start talking about this gap. The gap is what we're used to doing with keyword search versus now I can just share everything with my AI. And so like when they talk about the strategic gap, it's like a traditional page one rankings on Google. And and you think about that, your traditional rankings, like Google will overlay with AI mentions. So right now, it's this in between phase where people are still Googling things, but AI is creeping into it, and AI's like mentioning things, or they're starting to ingest things into some of these searches. Google has Google AI mode. It's amazing how many people I talk to every day when I say, well, Google already changed. You just don't, businesses, consumers don't know it yet. And they're like, what do you mean? Pull up Google search. Right in the search bar says AI mode. So
Gotta
it's
hit the button.
crazy. Yeah, Mike.
You just gotta hit the button.
Yeah, it's right in front of you. So what's happening right now is there's this gap where people are searching keywords. They're looking for something, and Google, with their Google AI mode, they're ingesting AI into it. It's like a way to bridge people over. So so anyway, so it's really the prompt gap is really just humans learning how to prompt AI to get the exact answers that they're looking for. When they talk about like, oh, you need to bridge, or it's more optimizing large language model seeding. Okay, LLM seeding. So it's creating context that answers very narrowly scoped, complex technical questions that a generic search engine would typically overlook, but AI will find this highly relevant for its synthesis. So that's all real fancy jargon to say that what we're seeing is people are starting to evolve away from 2 or 3 keywords, and they're now asking, really highly, if you will, most of my clients don't even know they're doing this, but they're asking really highly complex questions. And then the more questions that they ask or the better prompt that they give to their AI is synthesizing the data and giving them the answer in a matter of seconds. So, here's the example I want to give. Just this last weekend, I was looking to buy new cars for my wife's tire. I stopped in at Costco, and national brand. It was a weekend. Asked them what they had for tires. And they said, hey, we have these Michelin Defender tires and da-da-da-da, and this is why we recommend them. Okay, great, thanks, went home. Sitting around that night, jumped on a national brand Discount Tires website, right? I bought tires from them before. I like a lot of selection. So I'm sitting there, and I basically found a different set of tires that I liked, right? Coopers, I think Coopers what they were. I don't know. So they had their little ratings and stars and all this different stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm really interested in this. So I think I'm going to call, Discount Tire. I want to go buy these tires. Well, here's the crazy thing, Mike. The next day I thought, why in the heck don't I ask Gemini? Let me have Gemini compare this. So I said, hey, Gemini, I need to buy new tires for my wife's vehicle. Here's the type of vehicle I have. Here's what we drive this type of vehicle with. It's mostly highway. It's not off-road, whatever. I was looking at these tires at Costco. Here's the price. I was looking at these tires at Discount Tires. Here's the price. Gemini, can you tell me which is the best set of tires for for what we're looking to do? And here's what's crazy. I had already made the decision that I was going to go to Discount Tires to buy these tires, right?
Right.
Gemini sold me on the reasons why the Michelins at Costco were an overall better value. A little bit more money, but it answered the question. And it said, these are the top 3 tires. This is the best one for your money. Like, blew me away. I'm sitting here and I do this. AI just sold me to do something against what I typically would do. Go search websites, come up with the information, do it myself. So needless to say, Michelin tires got purchased. So
I think that you just answered a big question on why this is important in today's business to get on top of this and not fall behind, because Michelin just won a huge war in your household.
Well, you know what? They were all 3 great tires. This is what's important. They were all 3 great tires.
Right.
Based on what I told Gemini, our primary purpose was highway traveling. We want them to have really, really good, like the best on snow and rain. And so it said, like, for these reasons, this is why this is the one you should go with. Said this is a great tire and this is a great tire, but specifically for what you're looking for, this is the one. Mike, it did all the research for me. And it actually made me realize something. I went and did the research on these other tires, and I found out that I was wrong. So I think that's the power as we look at AI and as humans, myself included, and I'm pretty heavily involved in this. We help businesses implement AI. We help businesses with SEO, with GEO. We do all of this stuff for clients, right? But when you start to experience it yourself, you're just like, you're kind of like, wow, it's pretty amazing.
Very, very cool, Kevin. So you answered a lot more questions on how to close that gap. I think we're going to delve deep into this a little more in the very near future here. So for today, thanks for giving us a deeper explanation on that and for sharing your tire story with us.
Have a good one, Mike. Take care, buddy.
Great. Thanks a lot, Kevin. We'll talk to you soon.
All righty. Bye.
Bye.